Everything begins with belief, and belief begins with the impossible. The people who change the world never wait for permission. They dream beyond logic. They see beyond fear. They act beyond limits. This isn't just another motivational journey. It's a reminder that everything you've ever wanted already lives inside your reach, if you dare to chase it. Think bigger, move faster, go further, because the impossible only exists until someone like you makes it real. Stay till the end. Subscribe now. Your journey to conquering the impossible starts here. Chapter 1. The Power of an Impossible Mindset. Everything starts in the mind. Before a dream is achieved, it is imagined. Before success is built, it is believed. Every invention, every breakthrough, every revolution began with a single thought that sounded crazy to others. That's the nature of the impossible. It never looks realistic in the beginning. When people told the Wright brothers that humans weren't meant to fly, they didn't argue. They built wings. When Thomas Edison failed thousands of times trying to create the light bulb, he didn't quit. He just found thousands of ways that didn't work, until one did. The difference between those who succeed and those who stop halfway is not intelligence. It's mindset. An impossible mindset doesn't mean blind optimism. It means relentless faith. It means seeing potential where others see walls. It means refusing to let fear decide your direction. You see, most people live inside invisible cages. Cages built from opinions, doubts, and limitations taught by others. They believe what the world says is possible, and stop there. But the ones who change their story, the ones who go further, they break the cage from the inside. They think differently. They speak differently. They move differently. Their mindset isn't average. It's impossible. Because the impossible mindset sees obstacles as puzzles, not problems. It doesn't ask, can this be done? It says, how can I do it? The impossible mindset doesn't wait for perfect timing. It creates it. It doesn't depend on motivation. It depends on commitment. When you think impossible, your brain rewires itself to search for solutions others can't see. You stop chasing comfort and start chasing growth. You stop fearing failure and start using it as feedback. Every time you stretch your limits stretch back, and over time, they disappear. The truth is, the impossible only exists for those who never tried enough times. Once you keep going long enough, it stops being impossible. It becomes inevitable. But building an impossible mindset takes discipline. It requires you to train your thoughts like an athlete trains their body. You start by watching what you feed your mind, because your environment shapes your belief system. If you spend time around people who only talk about fear, you'll start fearing your own dreams. But when you surround yourself with people who dream, build, and act, their energy becomes your fuel. The impossible mindset grows in silence too. When you stop talking about your dreams and start working on them quietly, you begin to realize that action is louder than approval. Most people wait for validation before they move. The impossible mindset moves first, and validation comes later. When you stop needing everyone to understand you, you unlock the freedom to build what they can't imagine yet. You'll be called unrealistic. You'll be misunderstood. You'll be doubted. That's part of the path. Because people who see the world differently always look strange to those still trapped by limits. But that's how change begins. Not with comfort, with courage. Courage is the foundation of the impossible mindset. Courage to take the first step when the staircase is invisible. Courage to walk alone when no one believes in you. Courage to try again when failure becomes heavy. This courage doesn't come from talent. It comes from purpose. When your purpose is clear, your fears lose power. When you know why you're doing something, you stop worrying about how hard it feels. Every great achiever in history had a why that burned stronger than their doubts. They didn't wake up every morning motivated. They woke up determined. That's what separates dreamers from doers. An impossible mindset doesn't chase comfort. It chases growth. It doesn't settle for good enough. It keeps pushing until impossible becomes done. And that's where the real transformation happens. Not when the world believes in you, but when you believe in yourself enough to keep going anyway. There will be days when you'll feel like quitting. Days when your effort feels unseen. Days when your results don't match your sacrifice. But those are the exact moments your mindset is being tested. Because pressure doesn't break you. It reveals you. Every challenge is shaping you into someone stronger. Every failure is preparing you for the next step. Every no is redirecting you toward a better yes. You can't build an impossible life with an ordinary attitude. You have to be willing to do what others won't, to see what others can't. You must stop asking, what if I fail? And start asking, what if I fly? Because the greatest regret in life is not failure. It's never trying. The impossible mindset doesn't wait for inspiration. It creates it through movement. It knows momentum is more powerful than motivation. When you start moving, clarity appears. When you start doing, direction reveals itself. When you start believing, results begin to show. And soon, what once felt impossible becomes your new normal. That's how evolution works. That's how greatness begins. So if you want to master this mindset, start where you are. Use what you have. Do what you can. Stop comparing your chapter 1 to someone else's chapter 20. Your timing is yours. Your path is yours. The impossible is personal. What's easy for others may be hard for you, and what's hard for them might be your strength. So stay focused on your lane. Keep showing up. Keep building. Keep believing. Because one day, the same people who said it can't be done will call you lucky. But you'll know it wasn't luck. It was mindset. An impossible mindset that refused to give up, refused to slow down, and refused to settle. That's where success is born. In persistence that outlives doubt. Every dream that changed the world started with a single decision. To believe when others didn't. And if you can make that decision now, no goal will ever be too big. No mountain will ever be too high. No fear will ever be too strong, because once your mind expands to the idea that you can, the impossible loses its power forever. Chapter 2. Turning vision into action. A vision means nothing without movement. Dreams are beautiful, but action gives them life. You can imagine 1,000 possibilities, but if you never move your feet, you'll stay exactly where you are. Vision is the seed. Action is the soil. Without both, nothing grows. Every great accomplishment began as a dream, but it stayed a dream until someone decided to act. Ideas don't build empires. Actions do. You can think, plan, and visualize all you want, but nothing changes until you take the first step. The difference between dreamers and doers is movement. Doers don't wait for motivation. They start, and motivation finds them along the way. You can't control the outcome, but you can control the effort. And effort is what turns a blurry vision into something real. Most people get stuck between knowing and doing. They overthink. They wait for the perfect time. They wait until they're ready. But the truth is, you'll never feel fully ready. You'll always feel a little scared, a little unsure. That's how you know you're growing. Growth lives just beyond fear. And the only way to reach it is through movement. You have to take that step. Even if it's small, even if no one understands yet, action creates clarity. You don't figure things out by thinking forever. You figure them out by doing. When you move, life responds. Opportunities appear. People notice. Doors open. It's like the universe waits for proof that you're serious, and the proof is action. Your vision might be big. It might even feel impossible right now. That's okay. All big visions start small. A writer writes one page. An artist paints one stroke. A builder lays one brick. A dreamer takes one step. And then another, and another. That's how mountains move. Not in leaps, but in layers of effort. Turning vision into action is about consistency, not speed, not luck. Consistency. You can't do it once and expect results. You have to show up again and again, even when it's hard, even when you're tired, even when it feels like nothing's working. Because the truth is, it's working. You just can't see it yet. Progress is often invisible in the beginning, but that doesn't mean it isn't real. Action compounds. Every small move builds momentum. Every consistent effort becomes a foundation. The world doesn't reward ideas. It rewards execution. And execution is not about perfection. It's about persistence. You don't need to have it all figured out. You just need to keep moving. Action is the bridge between imagination and achievement. Most people spend their lives standing on one side, talking about what they want. Only a few build the bridge and walk across. Be one of those few. Don't be afraid to fail. Be afraid to stand still. Failure's not the opposite of progress. It's a sign that you're on the path. Every mistake teaches you something you couldn't have learned by thinking alone. Failure gives data. Action gives direction. The worst decision isn't the wrong one. It's no decision at all. You'll never be able to steer a parked car. Start moving, and you'll figure out where to turn. Your vision doesn't need speed. It needs consistency. Show up when it's boring. Show up when it's quiet. Show up when no one's clapping. That's how winners are built. In silence, through repetition. You see, vision without effort is a dream. Effort without vision is chaos. But when vision and effort work together, they create destiny. Every action you take sends a message, not to others, but to yourself. It says, I believe. It says, I'm doing this. It says, I'm not waiting anymore. And the moment you start moving with conviction, your vision begins to shift from someday to soon. Action also builds confidence. Each time you do what you said you would, you trust yourself more. That trust becomes power, and that power becomes unstoppable momentum. Confidence isn't built by speaking. It's built by showing up. When you keep promises to yourself, your mind starts believing you can do anything. That belief makes your next action easier, and each step you take strengthens your faith in the next one. That's how momentum works. It starts small, but once it builds, it carries you through storms. Your vision will be tested. You'll face doubt, distraction, and delay. That's natural. But every challenge is part of the training. It's shaping your discipline. It's preparing you for the next level. When you push through resistance, you grow tougher. When you stay focused, you grow sharper. And when you keep moving despite everything, you grow unstoppable. Remember this. The dream doesn't fail because it's too big. It fails because effort stops too soon. Most people quit right before results show up. They stop digging just before striking gold. Don't be most people. Keep going when others pause. Keep pushing when others rest. Keep believing when others doubt. Because the breakthrough always comes after the hardest part. Action is not just movement. It's commitment. It says, I'm all in. It says, I'll find a way. When your actions align with your vision, life starts aligning with you. You attract opportunities that match your energy. You meet people who match your drive. You start seeing progress that once felt impossible. That's how vision becomes visible. And that's how impossible becomes inevitable. You don't need luck. You need consistency. One page, one step, one day at a time. It's not the size of the move that matters. It's the direction. Every day you take one small step toward your dream. You get closer, even if it doesn't look like it. The key is to stay in motion. Action has a heartbeat, and that heartbeat keeps your dream alive. Because when you stop acting, your vision stops breathing. So keep going, keep building, keep proving your belief through movement. Because one day, you'll look back and realize it was never about how fast you moved. It was about never stopping. That's how dreamers become doers. That's how believers become achievers. That's how impossible becomes real. Turn your vision into action. Then repeat, every single day. Chapter 3. The discipline behind greatness. Everyone wants success, but very few are willing to do what success demands. The truth is, greatness doesn't come from talent. It comes from discipline. Talent may open the first door, but only discipline keeps it open. Discipline is doing what needs to be done, even when you don't feel like doing it. It's showing up when it's hard. It's working when it's boring. It's staying consistent when the excitement is gone. Motivation is a spark. Discipline is the fire that never goes out. Motivation fades. Discipline stays. That's why the disciplined always outlast the motivated. Greatness has nothing to do with luck. It has everything to do with habits. The world sees success as glamour. They see the spotlight, the trophies, the applause. But what they don't see are the quiet mornings, the late nights, the repetition, the lonely hours when no one's watching. That's where greatness is built. Every champion was once an ordinary person who mastered the art of discipline. They didn't just dream big. They built daily. Discipline isn't exciting. It's not dramatic. It's not glamorous. It's routine. It's consistency. It's focus. But that's what makes it powerful. When you live with discipline, you no longer depend on feelings. You move whether you feel inspired or not. You show up whether you feel ready or not. You keep going whether results show or not. Because discipline doesn't negotiate. It executes. Every morning you wake up, you have two choices: your comfort or your commitment. Comfort will give you rest. Commitment will give you results. The difference between winners and wishers isn't skill. It's structure. The disciplined build systems around their goals. They don't wait for perfect conditions. They create consistency in chaos. That's how they grow, even when everything around them falls apart. Discipline doesn't just build success. It builds character. It sharpens your mind. It strengthens your will. It gives you control over yourself. And that's real freedom. You can't master life if you can't master your habits. And you can't build your dream if you keep breaking promises to yourself. Every time you say you'll do something and don't, you lose trust in yourself. But every time you keep your word, your confidence grows quietly. That's how discipline builds belief. When your actions align with your intentions, you become unstoppable. Discipline is the silent agreement between who you are and who you want to become. It says, I will do what's required, no matter how I feel. Greatness begins the moment you stop chasing comfort, because nothing legendary grows in ease. Discipline is painful at first. It feels heavy. It feels slow. But over time, it becomes your peace. It creates order in chaos. It turns struggle into structure. It gives meaning to effort. Every master started as a beginner. Every expert started with confusion. The only difference is, they didn't quit. They showed up again, and again, and again, until what once felt impossible became natural. That's the power of repetition. That's the essence of discipline. You can't skip steps. You can't fast forward results. You have to walk through the process, one disciplined day at a time. Discipline is not punishment. It's preparation. It prepares you for success, so that when it arrives, you're ready to handle it. Because success without discipline collapses quickly. It looks big, but it breaks easily. Discipline gives success its foundation. It keeps you grounded when praise comes. It keeps you humble when recognition grows. It reminds you that the process matters more than the spotlight. When you build discipline, you build peace with hard work. You stop resenting effort. You start respecting it. You stop wishing for easier days. You start wishing for stronger focus. And that's when your life changes. Every small act of discipline compounds. Waking up on time, finishing the task you started, choosing focus over distraction, saying no to what wastes your energy. These choices seem small, but they stack up quietly. Over time, they create a life that looks impossible to others, but normal to you. because you trained for it. You can't control everything around you, but you can control your discipline. And when you do, you become untouchable. No setback can stop you. No delay can break you. No failure can define you. You'll still fall, but you'll rise faster each time. Because discipline doesn't stop failure. It builds recovery. It gives you the strength to keep rebuilding, to keep climbing, to keep believing. When people give up, you'll still be there, working in silence. When they lose focus, you'll still be moving with precision. When they rest on excuses, you'll keep your promise. That's what separates greatness from average. The disciplined don't chase moods. They chase mastery. They don't need applause. They respect the process. They know the world eventually rewards those who outlast its distractions. So stay disciplined, stay steady, stay committed, because someday your consistency will become your legend, and people will call you lucky. Without realizing, you built your luck with discipline. The truth is simple. Dreams inspire you, goals guide you, but discipline delivers you. It's the bridge between vision and victory. Without it, everything remains theory. With it, everything becomes reality. So when the alarm rings, get up. When doubt whispers, ignore it. When laziness calls, walk past it. Your greatness is waiting, but it's guarded by discipline. Show up for it. Earn it. Live it. Because discipline doesn't just create success. It creates peace, pride, and power. That's the real reward of greatness. The quiet confidence of knowing you built it, you earned it, and you never gave up. Chapter 4. Breaking Limits and Redefining Possible. Limits are not real. They are opinions disguised as truths. Most of the time, the wall you see in front of you isn't made of stone, it's made of fear. Fear of failure. Fear of judgment. Fear of not being enough. And here's the truth. Those fears aren't yours. They were given to you by a world that stopped trying too soon. From childhood, you were told what's realistic, what's practical, what's possible, but those definitions were built by people who stopped chasing the extraordinary. You were born limitless. You learned limitation. Somewhere along the way, you traded your wings for walls, and that's why most people never see how high they can actually fly. Breaking limits starts in your mind, because every boundary in your life began as a belief. If you believe you can't, your brain shuts down. It stops looking for solutions. It stops trying. But when you believe you can, your brain turns into a map maker. It finds paths no one else noticed. It connects dots no one else saw. That's the power of belief. It makes new possibilities visible. The world doesn't decide your limits. You do. Every impossible thing ever achieved began with someone who refused to believe in limits. Once upon a time, humans thought flight was impossible. Thought running a mile under 4 minutes was impossible. Thought exploring space was impossible. But one by one, people came along and said, "Watch me," and they changed the definition of possible forever. When you stop asking, "Can it be done?" and start asking, "What will it take?" you start to evolve. Limits are mental speed bumps, not barriers. They slow you down just enough to test how much you want it. And when you decide to keep pushing, you realize the wall was never real. It was fear pretending to protect you. Growth is uncomfortable because it pulls you beyond your comfort zone. But that's where life begins, in the space where fear ends. The people who break limits don't have fewer fears. They just stop obeying them. They act before they feel ready. They try before they feel certain. They trust the process before they see proof. That's how possibility expands, one brave step at a time. The key to redefining possible is not talent. It's endurance. You have to keep showing up, even when nothing seems to move. You have to believe when logic tells you to stop. You have to keep trying long enough to make the impossible inevitable. Because persistence bends reality. It wears down resistance. It rewrites what's possible through repetition. Every day you push past comfort. You create a new version of yourself. Stronger, wiser, freer. Your old limits start to fade. Your new limits start to rise. And with every level you break, you realize how limitless you've always been. But here's what most people don't understand. Limits don't vanish in a single victory. They dissolve through consistent effort. You have to keep stretching your potential until the impossible becomes familiar. Every time you think, I can't do this, you're standing on the edge of your next breakthrough. Because I can't is not the end. It's the beginning of discovery. Breaking limits means doing the things your past self never believed you could. It means waking up earlier, working harder, focusing longer, risking failure more often. It means being willing to feel uncomfortable until it feels normal. At first, the process feels lonely, because few people have the courage to challenge the ordinary. They'll call you crazy. They'll say it's not worth it. They'll tell you to be realistic. But remember, realistic is just another word for average. And average never changed the world. Every extraordinary person was once labeled unrealistic, until they proved otherwise. When you start breaking limits, you'll lose people who fear change. But you'll find others who crave growth. That's how alignment works. As you rise, your circle refines. You attract people who dream like you, work like you, and believe like you. Breaking limits is not about arrogance. It's about awareness. The awareness that you are capable of far more than you've been told. You don't need permission to go further. You just need courage to start. The road won't be easy. It will test your patience. It will test your faith. It will test your strength. But the test exists to prove you're ready. Limits break when you keep walking through resistance. And the moment you stop letting fear dictate your decisions, you start living on your own terms. Your comfort zone is a beautiful place, but nothing grows there. You can't discover new oceans if you're afraid to lose sight of the shore. You can't redefine possible if you're always trying to stay safe. So take risks, fail forward, fall, learn, rise again. Because progress doesn't come from perfection, it comes from persistence. You might not succeed immediately. You might fail multiple times. But failure doesn't define you. Quitting does. And as long as you keep going, you're still rewriting what's possible. Think about this. Every limit you've broken in life once felt impossible. Yet here you are. You've survived harder days. You've overcome bigger fears. You've done things you once thought you couldn't. That's proof. You've been breaking limits all along. You just didn't call it that. Now, it's time to do it consciously. Push your body. Push your focus. Push your patience. Push your belief. Because every time you stretch a limit, your potential expands. And eventually, you start living in a space where other people's limits don't apply to you anymore. You stop asking, what if? And start saying, why not me? That's how leaders are born. That's how pioneers are made. That's how the impossible becomes your reality. You'll look back one day and realize the barriers that used to scare you were never walls. They were mirrors, reflecting the fears you needed to overcome. Breaking limits isn't about proving others wrong. It's about proving yourself right. Right that you can. Right that you're capable. Right that you were meant for more. Because you were. So break the rules that hold you down. Break the habits that slow you. Break the patterns that keep you small. Redefine what's possible, not just for the world, but for yourself. Because the moment you decide to stop accepting limits, you start creating a life without them. And that's where real freedom begins. Chapter 5. The Strength of Persistence. Success isn't about how fast you start. It's about how long you can keep going. Persistence is the difference between those who dream and those who do. Anyone can start when it's exciting, but only the persistent finish when it's exhausting. Persistence is not glamorous. It's not loud. It's not always rewarded right away, but it's powerful. It's quiet strength. It's invisible progress. It's the heartbeat of greatness. Every time you show up, despite difficulty, You're building momentum no one can see. Persistence is doing what others stop doing. It's believing when results don't show yet. It's pushing forward when logic tells you to stop. Because greatness isn't built in one grand victory. It's built in thousands of small, disciplined moments. Every drop of effort adds up. Every repetition matters. Every try again counts. Persistence is not about avoiding failure. It's about walking through it. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's part of the process. The people who reach their dreams aren't the ones who never failed. They're the ones who refuse to quit. You see, quitting is easy. It gives instant relief, but it steals long-term peace. When you give up, you don't just lose progress. You lose the proof that you could have made it. Persistence is faith in motion. It's courage that keeps walking when the path is unclear. It's belief that whispers, "One more try." Every successful person you admire, every innovator, every leader, every legend, was once in the exact same place, tired, frustrated, unsure. They didn't keep going because it was easy. They kept going because they decided their vision mattered more than their comfort. Persistence is commitment to the bigger picture. It's waking up tired, but still moving forward. It's facing rejection, but trying again anyway. It's losing once, twice, 10 times, and still believing the 11th might change everything. That's strength. When the world says no, persistence says, "Watch me." It's not blind stubbornness. It's focused endurance. It's the quiet understanding that consistency beats intensity, because success isn't built in explosions. It's built in repetition. The problem is, most people confuse effort with results. They give their best for a week, don't see change, and stop. But persistence knows results take time. Seeds take time to grow. Dreams take time to unfold. You can't rush greatness. You can only stay long enough to meet it. Persistence is patience with purpose. It's doing the work today, knowing tomorrow will thank you for it. Every time you persist, you send a message to the universe. I'm serious. And life eventually bends to those who stay. Persistence breaks resistance. It wears down obstacles until they turn into openings. It doesn't fight for shortcuts. It builds strength through struggle. When you stay long enough in the game, you stop competing. You start dominating. Persistence is a test of heart, because when things get hard, your emotions will want to quit before your potential is done. But those who win are not the strongest. They're the most consistent. They fall, they hurt, they cry, but they rise again. Every time stronger, wiser, sharper. Persistence turns pain into patience, and patience into progress. Even in silence, persistence speaks. It says, "I'm still here." It says, "I haven't given up." It says, "This is not the end." When nothing seems to work, persistence tells you, keep working. Because success doesn't always announce its arrival. Sometimes it sneaks in quietly, after your 1000th try. That's why persistence is the secret of all achievement. It's what turns failure into foundation. It's what transforms doubt into discipline. It's what teaches you that strength isn't found in ease. It's forged in effort. You'll be tempted to stop. You'll think maybe this isn't meant for you. But remember, the moment you feel like quitting is usually the moment you're closest to your breakthrough. Don't stop at almost. Almost successful. Almost ready. Almost there. Because almost never builds legacies. One more step. One more hour. One more try. That's where the miracle hides, in the one more. Persistence doesn't guarantee speed. It guarantees arrival. You may not know when, but if you keep showing up, you will get there. The mountain may be high, but persistence climbs one step at a time. And soon, you'll look back and realize you've reached heights that once terrified you. Persistence makes impossible distances look small in hindsight. You'll wonder why you ever doubted yourself. Persistence teaches you to see beyond emotion, to choose purpose over mood, to keep your promise, not your excuses. Because growth doesn't care how you feel. It only responds to what you do. So keep doing, keep building, keep believing. Every time you get up after failure, you rewrite your destiny. Every time you keep going, you prove your strength to the world and to yourself. Persistence is quiet, but it's unstoppable. It doesn't shout. It doesn't brag. It just wins, slowly, steadily, silently. It's what separates temporary effort from lasting impact. Anyone can work hard for a day. Few can stay disciplined for years. But those few, they change everything. They redefine what's possible. Not because they were lucky, but because they refused to stop. And one day, you'll be that person. The one who made it look easy, though it never was. You'll carry the scars of effort, the peace of persistence, and the quiet pride of knowing you earned this. Because you didn't quit when it was hard. You didn't run when it was slow. You didn't give up when it was lonely. You persisted, and that made you unstoppable. That's the strength of persistence. It doesn't promise fast results, but it guarantees lasting ones. So keep walking, even when the road feels endless, because the ones who keep walking are always the ones who arrive. Chapter 6. Rising after failure. Failure is not the end. It's the beginning of strength. Every person you admire has failed more times than you can imagine, but they learned one thing. Failure doesn't destroy you, quitting does. Falling is a part of moving forward. No one reaches the top without scraping their knees. The road to success is not straight. It's full of turns, detours, and dead ends. And yet, those who rise again always find their way. Failure is feedback. It teaches faster than success ever will. When everything collapses, when your effort feels wasted, when your dream looks impossible, that's when your true growth begins. Because failure doesn't come to punish you. It comes to prepare you. It removes your pride. It clears your illusions. It reveals your real strength. The strongest people are not the ones who never fell. They're the ones who kept getting up. You don't discover who you are when things are easy. You discover who you are when everything falls apart. Pain exposes your potential. It strips away excuses and forces you to rebuild from truth. Every time you rise after failure, you come back stronger, wiser, and quieter. The first time you fail, it hurts. The second time, it humbles you. The third time, it teaches you how to rise differently. That's the evolution of resilience. Failure is not a wall. It's a mirror. It shows you what you need to change. It points out where you need to grow. If you can face failure without running from it, you'll learn lessons success could never teach. The truth is, success hides weaknesses. Failure exposes them. And exposure is good. Because once you see your weak points, you can fix them. Every fall refines you. Every setback shapes you. You are not defined by what broke you. You are defined by how you rebuild. When everything goes wrong, you have two choices: collapse or create. Collapse into your fear or create something new out of your pain. The world loves comebacks because they remind us of hope. They prove that nothing is final. They prove that broken doesn't mean finished. When you rise after failure, you carry scars, but those scars are proof you survived. They are your medals of experience, your reminders that pain didn't win. Every failure burns something inside you: the laziness, the pride, the fear, and what remains is focus. Failure strips you down to what matters most. It forces you to choose. Do you still want this dream badly enough to try again? That question separates the temporary from the timeless, because if you only wanted it when it was easy, you never wanted it enough. But if you keep going after pain, after embarrassment, after loss, then you've earned your greatness. Failure is not personal, it's universal. Everyone fails, but not everyone learns. Not everyone rises. The ones who do are remembered forever. When Thomas Edison failed thousands of times, he said, "I didn't fail. I found 10,000 ways that didn't work." That's the mindset of resilience. When Walt Disney was fired from his job for lacking creativity, he didn't give up. He built an empire. When J.K. Rowling faced 12 rejections for her first book, she didn't stop. She wrote anyway. Failure doesn't decide your destiny. You do. The greatest gift of failure is that it removes fear of failing again. Once you've been through it, you realize it's survivable. You realize it's not as deadly as your mind made it seem. And from that realization comes power. You stop fearing rejection. You stop hiding from risk. You start living with courage. Failure doesn't destroy ambition. It purifies it. You learn to work for meaning, not just applause. You learn to stay humble, but hungry. That's how failure builds champions. Rising after failure isn't about pretending it didn't hurt. It's about facing the pain, feeling it fully, and choosing to grow through it. Because pretending you're fine doesn't heal you. Acceptance does. Sit with the failure. Study it. Learn what it's trying to show you. Then get up, slowly, deliberately, and start again. The comeback won't happen overnight, but it will happen. Every step you take after failure is a declaration. I am not done yet. You don't need to start with confidence. Start with movement. The confidence will come back along the way. Remember, rock bottom is not the end. It's the foundation. You can rebuild stronger from it. Most people stop at pain. The persistent go beyond it. And beyond pain is peace. Beyond failure is freedom. You stop fearing the fall because you've learned how to rise. That's when failure loses its power over you. You start living boldly. You take bigger risks. You dream without fear. Because once you've faced failure and stood up again, you realize nothing can break you anymore. Your spirit becomes unshakable. Your heart becomes steady. Your focus becomes clear. You become unstoppable. Every failure that tried to destroy you was actually preparing you to handle success. Without failure, you wouldn't have the strength to sustain what's coming. The world doesn't need perfect people. It needs resilient ones. People who fall 7 times and rise 8. People who turn loss into lessons. People who keep believing, no matter what happens. That's what real success looks like. Not perfection, but perseverance. So don't run from failure. Respect it. Learn from it. Use it. Because failure doesn't end your story. It gives it meaning. And when you rise again, you won't just succeed. You'll inspire others to rise too. That's how legacies are born. In the fire of failure. And the courage to rise again. Chapter 7. Building Unstoppable Confidence. Confidence is not something you're born with. No, it's something you build. Every day, through every choice, every challenge, and every failure. You're shaping it. True confidence doesn't shout. It doesn't need to. It walks silently with certainty. It's not about arrogance. It's about assurance. It's about knowing who you are, even when others don't see it yet. The world respects confidence because confidence is conviction made visible. When you believe in yourself, others start believing too. But before anyone else believes in your vision, you must believe in it first. Confidence is built through proof. Not opinions, not compliments, but action. Every time you show up when you don't feel ready, you're proving something to yourself. Every time you finish what you started, you're teaching your mind that you can trust yourself. Confidence is self-trust, repeated over time. It's the quiet voice inside that says, I can handle this. That voice grows louder with every challenge you face. Most people wait to feel confident before they act. But confidence doesn't come first. Action does. You don't build confidence by thinking. You build it by doing. You can't read your way into it. You must experience your way into it. Every risk you take, every discomfort you face, builds another layer of strength within you. Confidence is not the absence of fear. It's the decision to move forward despite fear. The brave don't lack fear. They've learned how to walk with it. You can't eliminate doubt completely, but you can outgrow its power. The moment you act in spite of doubt, you weaken its control. Every act of courage chips away at insecurity. And slowly, quietly, you start to transform. You stop waiting for approval. You stop asking for permission. You stop explaining yourself to people who don't understand your fire, because confidence is not about convincing others. It's about convincing yourself that you are enough, right now as you are. That doesn't mean you stop growing. It means you stop doubting your worth as you grow. Confidence is not perfection. It's progress without apology. It's standing tall in your flaws and saying, yes, I'm still learning, but I'm still moving. Confidence isn't found in comfort. It's built in chaos. Every difficult conversation you have, every fear you face, every time you show up, despite anxiety, you're building muscle, mental muscle, emotional muscle, spiritual muscle. Confidence is not built overnight. It's built every time you refuse to quit. Every day you keep your promise to yourself. You're stacking bricks of belief. That's how you build something unshakable. People lose confidence not because they lack talent, but because they break trust with themselves. They say they'll do something, but they don't. They start, but they stop too soon. Each broken promise weakens belief. But every time you follow through, you rebuild it. Confidence grows quietly in the background. While you're busy staying consistent, you'll wake up one day and realize you no longer hesitate. You just move. That's when you know you've built something real. Confidence doesn't make you perfect. It makes you resilient. You stop being afraid of failure because you trust your ability to recover. You stop fearing judgment because you trust your truth. You stop comparing because you know your pace, your path, your power. That's unstoppable confidence, the kind that can't be shaken by outside noise. Confidence isn't loud success. It's quiet self-respect. It's walking into a room without needing to prove your worth. It's knowing your value and never discounting it to fit in. The world tries to sell you confidence as appearance, but real confidence is attitude. It's posture of the mind, not the body. You can dress well, speak well, and still feel small inside. Because confidence isn't external. It's internal alignment between what you believe and how you live. You can't fake that for long. Eventually, truth reveals itself. So stop pretending. Start becoming. Confidence grows in honesty. When you accept your weaknesses without shame and your strengths without arrogance, you find balance, and that balance becomes peace. You don't need to be the loudest in the room. You just need to be the most certain. Certainty comes from clarity. Clarity of purpose, clarity of values, clarity of direction. When you know who you are and where you're going, noise fades. The doubts still whisper, but they no longer control you. Confidence doesn't eliminate fear. It just refuses to obey it. You feel the fear and move anyway. That's what unstoppable confidence looks like. Movement without permission. You stop waiting for courage. You start becoming it. There will be moments when confidence shakes. That's okay. It's not about never doubting. It's about never surrendering to doubt. Even the strongest minds feel uncertain sometimes. They just don't let it stop them. Confidence isn't a permanent state. It's a daily practice. You have to feed it with action, protect it from negativity, and strengthen it with discipline. Stay around people who remind you of your worth, not those who question it. Protect your peace, protect your focus, protect your energy, because energy is everything. Confidence fades when your energy is scattered. It thrives when your energy is aligned. You can't build self-belief while living for others' approval. The moment you stop needing validation, you start owning your power. Confidence grows when you take responsibility for your life, when you stop blaming circumstances and start creating change. You realize no one is coming to save you, and that's where your strength begins. Because when you depend on yourself, you discover your true capacity. Confidence becomes unstoppable when it's rooted in purpose. When your why is bigger than your fear, your hesitation disappears. You start walking boldly into places you once avoided. You start speaking up where you once stayed silent. You start acting like the person you were always meant to become. That's not luck. That's ownership. Confidence isn't something you find. It's something you earn, one brave act at a time. And the more you earn it, the less you need to seek it, because true confidence doesn't need to be seen. It just needs to be lived. Chapter 8. The courage to dream bigger. Dreams are the language of the soul. They speak in whispers, in visions, in possibilities that logic can't see. But the world teaches us to shrink them, to stay small, to play safe. We're told to be realistic, to fit in, to settle for good enough. And slowly, we stop dreaming big, not because we can't, but because we're afraid to fail, afraid to be judged, afraid to want more than what others expect. But every great life began with a bold dream. Every breakthrough, every innovation, every masterpiece started with someone who refused to think small. Dreams are not fantasies. They're blueprints of your potential. When you ignore them, you betray your purpose. When you chase them, you become who you were meant to be. The courage to dream bigger isn't about ego. It's about expansion. It's about daring to see beyond limits and believing you're capable of more. Small dreams don't scare you. They comfort you. Big dreams, they stretch you. They wake you at night. They challenge your excuses. And that's why they matter. Because the size of your dream determines the size of your growth. If you dream small, you'll live safe. If you dream big, you'll live alive. To dream bigger, you must first silence the voices of doubt. The voice that says, "Who do you think you are? People like you don't make it. You're too late." That voice is not truth. It's fear pretending to protect you. The real danger isn't failure. It's regret. Regret for not trying. Regret for not believing. Regret for living beneath your potential. Dreaming big takes courage because it exposes you. It makes you visible. It makes you vulnerable. But that vulnerability is power. It's proof that you're alive, that you still believe something greater is possible. People will call your dream unrealistic until you make it real. Every person who ever achieved something extraordinary was once mocked for thinking differently. They didn't wait for permission. They moved with purpose. Because courage isn't the absence of fear. It's action despite fear. Dreaming big doesn't mean you have all the answers. It means you have faith in the journey. The details will come. The path will reveal itself. But only after you take the first step. If you keep waiting for clarity before you begin, you'll wait forever. Dreams don't grow in comfort zones. They grow in courage zones. You have to step into the unknown. Not because it's safe, but because it's worth it. Every time you choose courage over fear, you expand your reality. You start seeing what others can't. You start doing what others won't. And eventually, you start living what others only dream about. Big dreams require big energy. You can't chase greatness with half-hearted effort. You must give yourself completely, mind, body, and soul. The dream demands everything, but in return, it gives you everything. The courage to dream bigger means letting go of small thinking. Stop believing your background defines your ceiling. Stop thinking your current situation is your final destination. Where you start doesn't matter. How far you're willing to go does. You might not have the perfect resources, but you have resourcefulness. You have creativity. You have hunger. That's enough to begin. Every great dream starts messy. It's never perfect. It's never clear. But once you start moving, momentum begins to build. Dreams love movement. They grow through action. Even the smallest step forward is a message to the universe. I'm ready. And when you move with intention, life moves with you. People, opportunities, and ideas begin to appear. Not by luck, but by alignment. Courage is magnetic. When you walk with boldness, you attract possibilities that match your energy. The world responds to conviction. It always has. The only reason most people never live their dream is because they stop dreaming once reality hits. They let bills, deadlines, and routine bury their imagination. But remember this, adulthood doesn't mean the death of dreaming. It's the test of it. Dreams don't die. People just stop believing. But you're different. You're still listening to that voice inside. The one that says, there's more. Listen to it. Feed it. Protect it. That's your spirit calling you forward. Dreaming bigger means daring to see a future that doesn't exist yet and deciding to build it anyway. It's painting a picture of your life with colors that don't yet exist in your world, but the brush is in your hand, always has been. The courage to dream bigger also means being okay with solitude. Not everyone will understand your vision. Some will doubt it. Some will fear it. But that's okay. They're not supposed to see it yet. Your dream wasn't given to them. It was given to you. You saw it for a reason. You felt it for a reason. You're meant to bring it to life. And when you do, those same people will call you lucky. They'll forget the courage it took to begin. But you'll know, it wasn't luck. It was belief. You believed when it was hard. You believed when no one else did. You believed before there was proof. That's what makes a dreamer unstoppable. Big dreams require big resilience. You'll fall. You'll fail. You'll question yourself. But every fall will make you stronger. Every delay will deepen your patience. Every doubt will sharpen your clarity. Keep believing. Keep building. Keep expanding your vision. Because dreaming big is not just about what you achieve. It's about who you become in the process. You become fearless. You become focused. You become free. Your dream changes you first, and then you change the world. So stop thinking small. Stop hiding behind logic. Stop dimming your light to make others comfortable. You were not born to play safe. You were born to set the standard. Your dream is not too big. Your fear is just too loud. Turn down the fear. Turn up the faith. Because faith makes impossible things inevitable. Dare to dream bigger than your fears. Work harder than your excuses. And believe deeper than your doubts. And when you do, the world will adjust to your courage. That's how every great movement starts, with one person who dared to dream bigger. Chapter 9. The power of focus. Focus is power. It's the difference between movement and progress. Most people are busy. Very few are effective. Because energy without direction is just noise. You can't hit a target you can't see. And you can't build a life you don't focus on. Focus turns effort into excellence. It transforms confusion into clarity. It takes your scattered energy and makes it unstoppable. Success isn't about doing everything. It's about doing the right things consistently. Every distraction has a cost. Every scattered thought steals a bit of your destiny. You can't grow if your attention is divided. Focus is the discipline of saying no to everything that doesn't matter. It's the art of narrowing your energy until your purpose becomes a laser beam. The world is full of noise. Every screen, every message, every voice tries to pull you away from yourself. But true strength is staying centered in chaos. Focus isn't just attention. It's alignment. When your mind, body, and purpose move in one direction, you become unstoppable. The world doesn't reward the most talented. It rewards the most focused. Because focus multiplies talent. A distracted genius achieves less than a focused beginner. Focus gives shape to your potential. Without it, potential remains a dream. With it, potential becomes destiny. You can have passion, energy, and vision, but without focus, it all fades into frustration. Focus is commitment in action. It's what separates dreamers from doers. You can't chase 10 goals at once. You'll end up halfway to all of them and master of none. But when you choose one thing and pour yourself into it, you begin to see magic. Because focus creates depth, and depth creates greatness. The world celebrates multitasking, but mastery belongs to the focused. You can't create excellence while constantly switching paths. Focus demands sacrifice. It means walking away from good things to reach great ones. It means quieting distractions, ignoring noise, and protecting your attention like your life depends on it, because it does. Where your focus goes, your future grows. Your mind is a garden. Whatever you water, grows. If you water fear, you'll harvest doubt. If you water excuses, you'll harvest regret. But if you water discipline, you'll harvest excellence. Focus is how you choose what to water. Every moment, your attention is currency. Spend it wisely. When you focus, you give power to your priorities. You turn thoughts into actions, and actions into results. Focus makes average people great, and it keeps great people grounded. Because focus is not just about doing, it's about staying. Staying with the process when it's slow. Staying patient when results hide. Staying consistent when distractions whisper. That's how legends are built. Not through talent, but through tunnel vision. Focus means being unavailable to chaos. It means protecting your mental peace. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every battle deserves your energy. Sometimes the greatest strength is silence. Focus teaches you how to walk away from noise that doesn't feed your purpose. You can't chase peace and drama at the same time. Choose peace. Choose clarity. Focus isn't about doing less. It's about doing what matters most. It's the art of subtracting the unnecessary so that the essential becomes visible. Your goals don't die because they're impossible. They die because you get distracted. Every distraction delays destiny. Focus creates flow. That deep, quiet state where everything connects. In that space, your ideas become clear. Your energy becomes steady, and your actions start producing results. The secret is, focus grows with repetition. The more you train your mind to concentrate, the stronger it becomes. Discipline builds focus, and focus builds freedom. Because once you can control your attention, you can control your life. Focus gives you ownership of time. It keeps you present. It stops you from scattering energy on what doesn't matter. Distraction is easy. Focus is earned. It takes awareness to notice what's pulling you away. It takes courage to stop chasing every shiny thing. Every time you choose focus over impulse, you reclaim a piece of your potential. That's how greatness is built. Not in intensity, but in intention. Every great creator, athlete, leader, or visionary has mastered one thing, the art of focus. They protect it. They nurture it. They live by it. They know that the mind is a battlefield, and focus is their weapon. You can't win the war for your dream with a distracted mind. You must guard your focus like gold. Wake up with clarity. Decide your priorities. Ignore what doesn't align. Because every yes to distraction is a no to destiny. If you want peace, focus on gratitude. If you want success, focus on progress. If you want growth, focus on consistency. Whatever you focus on expands. The secret to focus is not control, it's clarity. When you know what matters, distraction loses power. You can't be everywhere and be excellent. You can't do everything and do it well. So stop trying to please everyone. Stop chasing approval. Stop multitasking your dreams. Simplify. Prioritize. Execute. The most successful lives are not the most complicated. They're the most concentrated. Focus is simplicity in action. It's saying, I'm choosing this, and I'm giving it everything. And when you live that way, when your results become undeniable, because the world eventually respects the person who refuses to be scattered. You don't need more time. You need more focus. You don't need more motivation. You need more discipline. Focus creates momentum. Momentum creates results. Results create confidence. And confidence fuels more focus. That's the loop of excellence. The more you live in focus, the more your purpose shines through everything you do. You begin to see the small moments matter most, the quiet hours, the disciplined days, the consistent efforts. That's where mastery is made. So cut the noise, kill the distractions, guard your energy like a treasure, because your future depends on where your focus goes today. The impossible becomes possible only when your attention stays steady long enough to build it. Stay locked in, stay calm, stay clear, because the power of focus is the power to turn intention into impact and dreams into reality. Chapter 10, Becoming Limitless. You were never meant to live small. You were built to expand, to grow, to rise. Limitless doesn't mean perfect. It means free. Free from doubt, free from fear, free from the belief that you are not enough. Becoming limitless is not about adding more. It's about removing what holds you back. All your life, you've been told what's possible, what's normal, what's safe. But deep inside, there's always been a whisper, more. That whisper is your truth. It's your soul reminding you that you were made for more than survival. You were made for significance. To become limitless, you must stop fighting for your limitations. Stop saying, I can't, I'm not ready, I don't have enough. Because every time you repeat those words, you build another wall inside your mind. And every wall you build keeps your greatness locked away. You are not limited by your past. You are not defined by your mistakes. You are shaped by what you choose next. The past taught you. Now it's time to move. Being limitless is not about power over others. It's about mastery over yourself. Mastering your thoughts, your emotions, your reactions. It's about staying calm when chaos comes. Staying grounded when life shakes. Staying faithful when everything looks uncertain. The limitless mindset says, I may not know how, but I will find a way. Because there's always a way for those who refuse to stop looking. You've already proven you can survive pain. You've walked through failure. You've rebuilt after loss. You've carried yourself through nights you thought would never end. That means you are already limitless. You just forgot. Your mind is the only cage you need to break. Every limitation begins as a belief, and every belief can be rewritten. When you shift your inner language, you shift your outer life. Stop saying, I'm trying. Say, I'm doing. Stop saying, I hope. Say, I will. Stop saying someday. Say today, because words are seeds, and your future grows from the ones you plant. You don't need permission to evolve. You don't need validation to begin. You just need to decide. The moment you decide to live beyond limits, the universe starts rearranging itself to match your energy. Doors appear, people arrive, opportunities unfold, not by coincidence, by connection. Because when your intention becomes pure, life responds with precision. The world bends for those who are clear. To become limitless, you must let go of comparison. Stop measuring your journey by someone else's timeline. Stop chasing their version of success. Your path is different. Your pace is divine. You are not behind. You are becoming. The process is shaping you in ways you can't see yet. Every delay, every detour, every disappointment, they all have purpose. They're refining you, not rejecting you. Being limitless means trusting that even when life doesn't make sense, it's still working in your favor. You can't control everything, but you can control your focus. And focus determines your future. So focus on growth. Focus on gratitude. Focus on becoming, not proving. The limitless don't compete. They create. They don't chase validation. They chase evolution. They don't let fear make decisions. They let faith take the lead. You are not small because you feel scared. You are human. But courage is not the absence of fear. It's movement despite it. You don't need to wait to feel brave. You become brave by acting. The limitless mindset doesn't ask, what if I fail? It asks, what if I fly? And once you take that leap, you realize you were never meant to crawl. The ground was never your home. The sky was. To become limitless, you must master your energy. Protect your peace like gold. Guard your time like treasure. Don't waste your spirit on things that drain you. Don't chase validation from people who don't understand your fire. You are not here to please the world. You are here to awaken it. Your energy is your empire. When you walk in clarity, you don't chase anything. You attract everything. That's the power of being aligned. When your purpose is clear and your actions are consistent, you become unstoppable. No storm can drown you. No failure can define you. No opinion can confine you. Because you've built strength inside, and strength that comes from within can't be taken away. Being limitless is not about having no obstacles. It's about knowing no obstacle can stop you. You've already walked through worse and survived. You've already risen from ashes. You've already proven you can begin again. That's what makes you limitless. You are not chasing success anymore. You are becoming it. You are the proof that impossible is temporary. Every time you choose faith over fear, discipline over distraction, persistence over pain, you rise higher. You don't just move forward, you evolve. That's what limitless living feels like. It's not loud. It's peaceful. It's knowing you can face anything and still keep moving. It's walking into the unknown and realizing you belong there. It's trusting that your steps have meaning, even when you can't see the destination. It's peace, it's power, it's purpose. Becoming limitless is not a destination. It's a daily decision. Every morning you choose to rise. Every night you choose to believe again. You won't always feel strong, but you'll always have a choice. Choose persistence. Choose focus. Choose courage. Choose to believe, even when it's hard, because faith is the root of freedom. And freedom, real freedom, is knowing that nothing outside you controls your worth. You are enough. You've always been enough. Now, it's time to live like it. Don't just exist. Expand. Don't just survive, soar. This is your season to rise above fear, above limits, above who you were yesterday. Because the world doesn't need another dreamer, it needs another doer. Someone who refuses to shrink, someone who dares to believe, someone like you. So go, live bold, live free, live limitless. And remember, the impossible is not a wall, it's a door, waiting for you to walk through.